So hi my friends and visitors. Thank you again for tuning in to another video. It's another day, another video. Like I said yesterday, I hadn't done a video in quite some time, and all of a sudden I now have these videos just rolling on out. It's just me talking to you guys. Nothing splashy, nothing flashy right now. Just as thoughts come to my mind, I just decide to just do the videos, okay? Anyway, today's video is about a lot. But it's been a year now since my wife and I came back from Madeira, from Portugal, mainland Portugal, and Madeira. And yeah, a year ago, last Sunday, we came back. So we were there for our anniversary last year. Our anniversary is on March 21st. So we spent, I wouldn't say we spent all those days over there, because of course two of those days were primarily traveling. So I guess you can say 5 days that we spent over there. And one of the things that I thought about that had been in the back of my mind, tend to be very analytical. I like to analyze things, look at things, and so forth. And I notice I say a lot of times "so forth." I'm going to try to stop saying that. Jeez. But anyway, it crossed my mind. I said, after we came back, we knew Madeira was a place that we wanted to live. We would like to move to. And in the back of my mind, I said, after like a month, and you get back into the grind of life where you come from, is the feeling going to wear off? After 6 months, is it going to wear off? After a year, as you can see right now, but after 10 months, after 11 months, it's going to be like something that's just going to fade in your rearview mirror. It's going to be like the excitement is just going to wear off, and it's going to be like, okay, I'm back to living life here and getting back into the grind and distractions and different things. And it's going to just be like a distant memory, just a nice place that you visited, you remember fond memories of, and that's going to be the end of it. Well, I'd like to say to you today that has not happened. We're still very much, very much, very, very much just desirous of moving and getting over there. As I said in a couple of videos prior to this, had some setbacks that kind of derailed the process for now. Set it back. Some things we have to consider, some things we have to put in place to make it a reality. Now, I wish, based on a video that I did 2 days ago, I wish it was as easy as finding records of our Jewish ancestry and being able to use those. I know that process takes a while also, but we don't really have that. Pretty much all we have right now is just oral history to work with, which the Portuguese government is not going to care about your oral history. They want to see, paperwork, documentation, and so forth. There's also another interesting thing, though, is that my wife's grandmother, her maternal grandmother, remember, something is passing by here because I'm sitting out in the parking lot for work. So let me let that noise go by. So my wife's grandmother qualifies because, remember, her grandfather was from Madeira. So I think it goes like this, that if you have parents from there or grandparents, you are qualified for automatic citizenship. But that's a whole mix-up right there, because she herself doesn't really have the documentation or records for this. Because if I'm not mistaken, when she was born, just the way things were back then, I don't think her father signed documentation that says this was his child. So that was problematic in itself. So she would have to go through some circles to try to get that straightened out if she wanted to go that route. My wife, or me, we are actually great grandchildren of those people. And I think once you go past that first grade, um, after you go get to the first grade, then that's about it. You don't qualify. So that's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. But anyway, today what I wanted to talk about is the idea that since we've come back, you know, did did the feeling fade? You know, did the novelty wear off, and now it's like just back to whatever? No. And here are some of the reasons why. We really genuinely love the place. We genuinely care about the place, and would love to go there. It left an indelible mark on us. It's beautiful. Um, the idea of safety, the idea of the infrastructure, just a whole lot of things that we just don't get here, or we don't see here. I'm not saying like the infrastructure and everything. Of course, we have the infrastructure and so forth over here, you know? There I go with so forth again. But anyway, but coming back over here, I don't know if I'm just more sensitive to it. I don't know my phone. I have applications that more or less give me information about the news, and so and that goes on in my surrounding areas, in my area. And I must admit, it's really depressing. Every time I look around, there's a shooting, a killing, a shooting, a killing. Somebody shot somebody. Somebody shot somebody. Now, the interesting thing about it, I live in a relatively safe neighborhood, safe area, I should say, because the city I live in, it's not small, you know. So you could have areas of the city where it's like a little shady, but where we live happens to be on the other side that's a little bit quiet. We live in a gated community, and it's rather peaceful in there. You don't really have a lot of foot traffic going back and forth, so it's relatively safe. But about a mile, 2 miles away from us, yeah, a few miles actually, you look around. Actually, a few miles away from us is into another city, and every time you look around, there's some shooting going on over there. Um, I have an app that lets me know about news in my immediate area, and people can report things. And all I would see in there is, did anyone hear those gunshots? Did anyone hear those gunshots? I heard gunshots. Did anyone else hear them? And that's all that seems to go on there, you know? And you think to yourself, and it's like, oh my goodness. As a matter of fact, just a few days ago, in front of a school, or just steps away from a school over in that city, which again is maybe like, what, 3 miles from me? In front of a school or near a school, someone was shot in an apartment building, or shot outside on the steps, just across the street from the school. Shot dead. And that just seems to be a common theme. And not only a common theme here, just all over the place where you have a lot of people that congregate. Here in the United States, it's something that just really depresses me. I am not a gun nut. I'm not into guns, and I'm not into all of that. I'm not into violence. But it just seems like that's the way that everyone wants to handle their situations. Look at me too hard, I'm shooting you. We get into an argument, I'm shooting you. You disrespected me, I'm shooting you. In that same neighborhood, there was a guy who was at home, and some people came to steal his car. And I guess he encounters them. And instead of them running away, they decided to shoot him. I don't know if he died. Like, well, you caught us, or you caught us stealing your car, or you yelled out to us about stealing your car. And you know what? We're not just going to run away. We're going to shoot you. We're going to try to kill you in the process. Since we didn't get your car, we're just going to shoot you. That's what's going on. There's another thing that's trending down here, and I noticed it, and I was just wondering if I was just seeing things. But eventually, a newspaper article came out, basically confirming what I thought I was seeing, so I know I wasn't crazy. There's this thing going on down here now where every now and again, once a month, once every couple of weeks, you're hearing somebody being shot at on the highway. And I thought that I was just seeing things, or just imagining. But it seems like when I flip on the news, police are on the highway right now. Traffic is backed up. Someone opened fire on someone on the highway. Now, what's leading to these? I don't really know. But if I had to take a guess, road rage. It's like somebody cut somebody off on the highway. Somebody waited too long at the light and probably stuck up a finger or cursed back at somebody. And that's the thing now. So the thing is to just roll up next to the person, drive up next to them on the highway as you're driving, and just open fire. There was another incident where someone came off the highway in a car, or a few people in a car, and pulled up at 3 o'clock in the morning, pulled up to a bus stop. Apparently they knew somebody at that bus stop. Just pulled up at the bus stop and just riddled the whole bus stop with bullets, killed the person, whoever was there, or whoever they were targeting, or whatever. Last year, I think it was, a teacher, a female teacher. Now, I don't know what was going on there. She's riding on the highway, and a car pulls up next to her and opens fire and kills her. That may have been some domestic thing there. I really don't know, but she's gone. And it just seems like everywhere you look, that's all you just hear. Here in the United States, in so many places where I read things, it seems like the stories always go like this. After a dispute, gunfire broke out. After an argument, gunfire broke out. It's like we don't know any other way to handle situations other than to shoot somebody. And let's not even talk about the school shootings. Let's not talk about they talk about mass shootings and so forth, and it's usually like on a bigger scale because somebody pulls up into a school, or they go into a store and they open fire and they kill a bunch of people, or they injure a bunch of people. This does not even count the mass shootings where guys are out there gambling or doing whatever, get into an argument, someone gets up and shoots like 3 people on the spot. But it's just a common theme. Shooting, 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 shooting. So when I think about a place like Madeira or other parts of the world, why wouldn't I want to go somewhere else where I feel safer? Now, before, my argument used to be, I'm not into drug running. I'm not into gang life. I don't hang around bad company. I mind my business. I stay home. I have a family. I'm not into that kind of a life. So nothing's going to happen to me, right? Well, then there's a young little girl about 7-8 miles away from me in another city, home minding her business. She gets shot in her house. I think she was 9 years old. What was it? A stray bullet killed her. No, I think she was in a car actually, and driving, and a stray bullet comes through and kills her. I would be lying to you if I don't tell you when I leave home to go to Walmart. I get scared about things like that. I'm like, what if a stray bullet comes flying through, somebody shooting at somebody and misses them and it hits me? What if I'm driving down the road and someone mistakes my car for another car that they encountered somewhere and just open fire? That's just how it is here. So, and I know I might sound like I'm just going around and thinking that everyone around is just shooting up the place, but that's not what's happening. But it happens too often. Right now, down in Miami Beach, 27 miles away from me here, spring break was going on. I think it's still probably going on. What do we see? First week that it's open, crowds of people all over the streets. Someone opens fire and shoots someone. Not only does he shoot the person, he stays there, stands over the person, and it's like he's emptying his gun on the person in view of thousands of people. And just to show you how bold it was, he's going to shoot this person, stand over the person, and shoots them some more. Not a shot and run away, but I've got to shoot him 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 times. On camera, people all around, shooting. To the point where police was able to run him down and catch him, which tells you he was not in the mood for running anywhere. Like, I'm going to be bold and dare. I'm just going to shoot and kill this person right here in the spot. Think a few days before that, another person was shot and killed too. There's just no regard and no respect for life. None. And sometimes you hear what happened. It's like the background to the story. It's like a lot of times some little petty nonsense. Oh, there was an argument. The guy argued with me, and I went and got my gun, and I came back. I looked for him, searched for him. Like you wonder, like, if something happens and it's taking you 5 minutes to go to your car and 5 minutes to come back, that in those 10 minutes you don't say, what am I doing? You know what? I don't want to go to jail. Maybe I may go back and I may be the one to lose my life. If I'm walking to my car to get something, just walk to my car, jump in, drive my car, and leave. That's not how people think nowadays. It's, I'm gonna go to my car, I'm gonna come back with something. They don't have to go to their cars anymore. It's right on their person. They don't have no time to think. It's just, oh, look what you did. Gun out, shoot. And as if that's not bad enough, a report came out yesterday that said the American life expectancy has dropped for the second year in a row. So I saw the graph, and it goes like this, and then over the past couple of years, it's going like that. Unhealthy eating, just the crappy food that Americans eat, and so many other things. I think we dropped from life expectancy of 74 or 76 down to like 72 now. Or is it 76 down to 74, or 74 down to 72? And then we have to mention the political climate in this country. It's like there was a particular person who was in the presidency who just opened that gaping underbelly of America to let out what America really is really all about. The whole superficial thing about it being the greatest country on earth, and which is something that I've always doubted, but the greatest country on earth and so forth. This country has always had a darkness right below the surface. And this certain person came in, and it's like he made it fashionable to be disgusting, obnoxious, horrible. And once he started doing that, like, well, if he's doing that at the highest level, I can be an asshole also. I can be a jerk. Look at us and our big guns. Look at what we are. I don't want to be around this stuff. It's not my personality. I don't want to be. Now, someone may say, why don't you go to Montana? Go live in the woods somewhere. Why don't you go to Wisconsin somewhere? Not Wisconsin, Wyoming. Go live in an open field somewhere. Sure. I'll probably go there and I'll probably feel very safe. But I'm also a cosmopolitan person. I like being near a big city, or living somewhere near a big city where I can go and have a nice romantic dinner with my wife, where there might be activities, there might be a concert or something like that, where I don't have to go too far. I like those type of things, like the modern conveniences of being near a big city. If I need to catch a flight, I don't have to go too far. I'm kind of like near the airport and so forth. There I go with so forth again. So those things in mind, that is what I want to experience. And one place I can experience this, I'm sure, all around the world, I'm sure I can find places like that. But I was able to go to Madeira. And while it is an island, while it is relatively small, it's much larger than where I come from, St. Thomas, but it's relatively small compared to a lot of other islands in the world. But yet it has everything that I feel that I would need. It has great infrastructure, so I don't have to worry about my lights going out every 5 seconds like I do back home in the Virgin Islands. I know my internet is going to be steady. I know that there is, great health care. And if there's an issue there, I could just hop on over to the mainland. I know I can find supermarkets where I need to get whatever I need to get. I know I'm going to be relatively safe. I'm not going to be hearing gunshots flying all over the place. I'm not going to be picking up, looking at the news every day and there's like 3 murders. just every day, and that's just 3 murders in one city. Not to mention other cities around that have their fair share of murders. Not going to be hearing those type of things or experiencing those type of things. I know my 5-year-old is not going to have to go to school to learn drills, how to protect themselves, how to be safe, how to climb on the desks, because there's a threat that one of their classmates may come to school with a gun and shoot up the place. I'm not saying these are not things that can happen, but it's not something that you expect to hear or expect to be happening every other week or every week now, as it seems. So these types of things are what matters to me. And if I was just going to Madeira, or if my family, just on the idea that we just want to be in a safer place, that should be just enough. Who doesn't want to be safe? Who doesn't want to know that their child goes to school and their child is going to be okay? Who doesn't want to know that, okay, I left home, you know what, I have my windows open, or I left the door open. Of course, you still have to be careful. You just never know what can happen. But I don't expect there to be people with my doors even locked trying to break in. And when they do break in, they don't care. They don't care if you're home. They're shooting you. They don't care. They're not like, okay, they're gone, let me try to break in. No, they're home, I'm going to break in and shoot people. And then take whatever I want to take. Why wouldn't I want to not be in an environment like that, in a place like that? So Madeira has all types of appeal. Portugal, it has all types of appeal for us. Of course, the top of the list is we love the place. We love the country. We love the island. We have ancestral ties to the place, so we're not going over there like, oh, look, a beautiful place, let's just live here. No, we feel a connection to the place because, again, as we dig deeper into our family roots with DNA testing and learning more about the oral history from our family, we now realize that a part of us comes from that place. So we feel a level of connection. And then once you remove that or put that on the side for why it appeals to us, because, when we figure we're going to fill out the application, we're not just going to say, oh, we thought it was just a beautiful place and we just want to live here. That's not going to be what we're going to tell them, obviously. It's going to be, this is where our ancestors come from. We love the place. We want our child to grow up in a place like this. We want to live here. My wife, at least she's made connections with family there. Since I came back and I looked into my DNA test a little bit more and expanded my search, I've now found my DNA connections over there also. As a matter of fact, there's two people that I actually speak to who are from, well, one lives here in New Jersey, but she was born in Madeira. The other one still lives there in Madeira. These are DNA matches of mine. Then, once you put that on the side, then we have the other issues. I want to get away from here because don't feel safe. Not like anyone has threatened me, but you just don't know where the dangers are going to come from. Hey, I may go home today and accidentally cut someone off and end up losing my life. Someone may do something that triggers me, maybe toward my wife that may trigger me, or towards my child that may trigger me, and I don't have a weapon on me. And I go out there just probably angry, and next thing you know, I'm getting shot down. Why would I want to be in that kind of environment? Why do I want to live like that? I don't want to. So, for reasons like that, then it's the school shootings. Why do I want to send my child to a place like these schools where I don't know what's going to happen? This last shooting that happened took place in a religious school where you would think it wouldn't happen. A few years ago, a guy walked into a church and shot up a whole bunch of people. Theaters, they have done that. Malls, they have done that. Places of business, they have done that. Playgrounds, they have done that. Military bases, they have done that. Colleges, they have done that. High schools up the street, Parkland, because I'm not too far away from Parkland. They have done that. And all the time that this is going on, I can look through a newspaper or look through something in Portugal, or it doesn't even have to be Portugal. It could be Spain, maybe other places in Europe. I can look through, and I may see one of those events every few years that takes place over here every other week. So, after a year of coming back from Madeira, do I still want to go? Hell yeah. Hell yes. This is America. I know it's beautiful in a lot of ways, and I know a lot of people are still breaking their neck to make it over here. Me, I've been here long enough to seen it all, heard it all. I know the facade about it's all this, it's all that, and all the glitter and everything. But I don't know. This American empire just seems to be crumbling. Seems to be falling apart. Divided country right now. People who were once on the fringes that you looked at and like they don't belong in polite society. I don't mean like they don't have a right to exist, but I mean like they should not be on the forefront in the mainstream of polite society. Now they're looking like they're running the ship. They're driving and dictating what the rest of us should be doing or experiencing or expecting. I don't want to go through that anymore. So that's my rant for today. I'm going to end it here. And the only reason I'm ending it, I had some more to say, but the only reason I'm ending it here is because I've got to get back inside. All right? So I'm going to upload this video raw, unedited, like I've done with the past few. And you guys can have it in the comment section. Just my feelings for today and these thoughts I just wanted to share. So Madeira is still very much in our sights. Still very much a place we need to go to. Not that we want to, we need to. Okay? All right, you guys, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Talk to you another day.